want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Clear sky.
Learning as kids, and some of us never give it up.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome on into movie night. Side Strikling is away from a computer right now, so you're stuck with me, Cheesemondo. I'm sorry. I've done this once before. I kind of know how it all works, but we'll see what happens. So, on the panel tonight, who have we got? Chris, how are you doing, sir?
Hello, good to be here. I'm glad that we were able to get something together and get back on. Well, we're not on the air, but we're on the stream, I guess. So I'm ready for some stupid.
Awesome. James, how are you doing? How is the world treating you?
Oh, wonderful! And if I can keep my camera on without screwing up the feed, like what happens in StreamYard, and that I'll just keep it on so you can see that I'm not a simulation.
Isn't that exactly what a simulation would say?
Yeah. See.
Oh, orange rhymes with purple. How are you doing?
Decker was not a replicant.
Shapeshifter. Orange, are you there?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Good. How are you doing?
Okay. Not much going on.
If I were a shapeshifter, would I pick this?
I think that's exactly what a shapeshifter would say to cover their tracks.
Yeah, boy, I need better taste.
Yeah, no. See, a shapeshifter would avoid being too attractive because they don't want people to look at them for very long.
Well, I have succeeded on that front. Got that nailed. Okay, sarcastic, your turn.
I'm just happy to be here. It's my first time ever coming to a movie night live, so this should be fun. I'm really looking forward to this.
Got more foreign accents. What part of the earth are you from?
I don't have an accent. I'm from Wales originally, and moved over to Hereford now. So yeah,
That's just what the people.
I've got some Welsh ancestors. My great-great-grandmother was from Wales.
Do you know whereabouts?
No, it never got that close. All of the family members basically could care less about where they came from once they came over here. But
Fair enough.
But she was very, very endeared to my mother, who loved to quote a lot of the things. Like somebody was thinner than 9 yards of pump water. No wild horse is going to stop to look at it. There's a lot of little phrases that all came from my Welsh great-grandma.
They're phrases I don't think I've ever heard either.
Oh well, this would be back a ways. This would be back in the 19th century.
I didn't want to assume, but yeah, some phrases never die.
Yeah.
At one point, I
Well,
embarked
she may have coined them. There's no guarantee that they were unique to Wales. That she may have actually made them up.
Like grandparents do.
Yeah.
So, Barman, the way this works, I'm sure you've seen this before, but we'll just recap. We have a great big spinny wheel, and if you look at the shield's feet, that will spin. There's an incantation that must be said, and then wherever the wheel lands is the stupid that we end up watching.
Yay! Is one of those say boobies?
No, there's no boobies.
Why didn't none of them say
probably not.
boobies?
Yeah.
Damn it!
Yeah.
I was promised boobs.
And
In
we don't
fact,
show
say
pause.
boobies
in
as long
fact,
as
that's
you're talking
one
about
thing
the
that
birds.
almost never appears on the show is boobs.
At least not the bare naked guy. So,
Well, sometimes if somebody holds their electric calculator upside down, they might get boobs that way.
yeah, right. Yeah, 800.
You can talk about why am I? What's going on here? Am I muted?
I don't know.
Well, we hear you.
No,
You're
but we
definitely
are
talking.
hearing you, Orange.
We can hear you.
Okay, and just the thing on the screen isn't showing anything when I'm talking.
Yeah, it's not changing. He's broke it.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
your
yeah,
basic
the
bearded
portrait
triceratops
isn't,
sort of
isn't
creature.
upright.
Okay.
There it goes. Still gotta adjust this thing.
Apparently,
Okay,
we've
gentlemen.
got some Major League Stupid
This
for the show.
Okay.
And we're already
Read out.
having a cry for no Claudia Albers.
Well, that goes without saying. Civilization as we know it and clubbers are not in the same room.
One of our, I think it was Dead Kennedy in Space was talking about Claudia the other day, and I was like, we got her first.
Yeah, and if all she was basically a Poe, that's a terrible waste of time. If somebody is simply saying something that's incredibly dumb just to make money or just to stir up trouble, no, I want genuine, in their native habitat stupid that really believe everything they say.
I mean,
So no
it cost
flat
her
earthers then.
her tenure. It cost her her job. I'm surprised she didn't have her degree revoked. Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
Anyway, so what do we have on the-
not only was it an offense to modern physics, I think it was an offense to Aristotelian physics.
I think it was. Even cartoon physics. So,
Yes, yes, the physics of Warner Brothers cartoons, where if you don't study gravity, the law, you don't fall.
that's right. You just sit there, spin your feet up off the cliff. You know. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, Cheese. What do we have on the wheel tonight?
So on the wheel, I haven't put too many words on to not spoil the surprise when these are selected. So we have Newton, Blood, Cece, Leo, that's my cat, Dearth, Traffic Cone, and Pyramid Power.
Oh,
I was going to bring my
And-
razor blades so that I could recharge them in the pyramid power.
Right, yeah. I did an experiment with that one time.
Yeah,
I'd
remember
love
that.
Pyramid Power, to be fair.
I grossed out my
Yeah, I
classmates.
think Robert McCauley, the architecture guy who does terribly amusing books on the side, and he did a thing of a cutaway view of the Great Pyramid, and there was a giant razor blade in the middle of it.
Did oh god, Alan Parsons did a song called he did a whole album called Pyromania or something like that. And I used to
Historical alert: the Egyptians built lots and lots of pyramids in addition to the ones up on Giza, and they kept on going even after it kind of got to be passé. So some of the later dynasties built wimpy little pyramids, and that anybody that knows anything about Egyptian history realizes that the entire pyramid age straddles the supposed biblical flood, and therefore it is proof positive that the flood never happened.
Yeah, I've brought that up a couple of times
Yeah.
myself. It's like,
well
what's-
in the Nile River Basin used to be such a fertile ground and would flood every year
Yeah, it was
anyway.
a lot
So
greener, And we know absolutely when the Great Pyramid was built, the Khufu one, because it's got a goddamn rock quarry mark in one of the stones that are way up in the relieving chambers that had never been seen since it was built. That said, quarried 17th year Pharaoh Cheops. So that pretty well settles that hash.
Mm-hmm.
But who
What's the
did it
funniest one
first,
I've seen?
the Mayans or the Egyptians?
Oh no, the Egyptians were really the first off the mark in big buildings in stone because they lived on a rock quarry on the Nile, and so it was really, really handy. The Babylonians were building comparable things, but out of mud bricks, so a lot of that got whooshed away. The Mayas and that actually the earliest Mesoamerican pyramids, which were basically big mound things, date back practically as old as the Great Pyramids did. They just were built, with dirt, and then you build a thing on. And the structure was very different because you built effectively an artificial mountain, and then you put a temple on top, which is kind of what the Babylonians did, but not the Egyptians. The Egyptians, they weren't temples, they were burial chambers, and basically gigantic markers for burial chambers until they discovered that it didn't work to discourage tomb robbers. So that's when they skedaddle off to the Valley of the Kings in the New Kingdom to burrow away and have a group, a union of people who would keep the secrets as to where the tombs were located, and even that didn't work. So all that there's only a handful of tombs like Tut's that were actually have survived with the crap in them intact, because everybody during poverty-stricken times they would go and steal the crap. Sorry for the historical interlude.
No, that was a good historical lesson.
I just want to know, when did the gold stop using as landing pads?
Oh, yes. Well, when they discovered that for your interstellar spaceship, you did not need a landing strip 10 miles long.
Okay, Peter G in the side chat says, how do we know the Egyptians were not good divers and built the pyramids underwater during the flood?
Ooh, yes.
It might have been easier for them too, because then they could float the rocks and then sink them into place.
They made a gigantic stone bell jar, so it trapped the air.
Actually, that would explain how they built them. Yeah, they had to wait for the water to rise,
about
because we know they brought them up the Nile on their boats, and then they just dropped the blocks into place from the surface of the water. Then they don't need all those ramps or cranes or anything like that.
Bring in only the big granite blocks that they would have needed for some of the relieving chamber stuff to relieve stress, because they found out that stone cracks if you put too much weight on it, and that was the thing that they had a learning curve for about the last 100 years of pyramid building before we get up to the Great Pyramid. But virtually all of the bulk of the pyramids were built from local stones, and effectively what they did was quarry the stuff locally, have the people building it live in the place where the rock quarry was. When the thing was, and dirt they had to dig out, they put up for the ramp for the expanding pyramid, and then it was all done. Then you simply move all of the workmen away and bury the construction site in the X ramp, and there you got a nice, teeny, tidy pyramid. All done. Looks pretty. Yeah. Anyway, the Nile actually, for a while, had a canyon that was like 1,000 feet deep back about 4 or 5 million years ago when the Mediterranean Sea dried up. And all of what we now see as the surface level Nile with all of the mud muck, that's all filled in the millions of years since then.
Nice.
Sorry for more history.
That's all right. I've got one quick one, that Cleopatra lived closer to the invention of the iPhone than she did to the building of the pyramids. And then I know people in the chat are saying, get on with the wheel! Move on to the wheel!
We're stalling because we're terrified of the prospect of what might be on that wheel.
Okay.
It's the CC that's scaring me.
Okay. Well, I have hung around with Tornado enough to know the incantation.
Yes. Do it, Orange, do it.
You want to do it, people?
Okay. Wheel of misfortune, turn, turn, turn. Show us the stupid that we should burn.
I love that.
Spin it.
Dearth.
What do we get?
Blunk. Where have we landed?
Oh dear.
Dearth.
You've landed on Dearth.
Can we just call him Dirk?
DIRTH.
Is Dirk about?
I don't want to spoil it.
Oh, that sounds threatening.
It's a flat Earth. It's always a flat Earth thing with Earth, but enjoy this.
That could be my taco Earth, is it? Sunsets prove the flat Earth. How the sun sets on the flat Earth. As it moves away, it appears to go down, simply due to perspective. There it goes.
Here we go. Didn't take long.
And as the sun slowly sinks into the valley, burning everything on Earth in the distance that is above your eye level will compress into the horizon simply due to perspective.
Drink.
Drake, someone's called Drake. Stop the show.
Drake.
What does he mean by it will compress in your eye, or what was it that he said? Said something about compression in there.
Yeah, it's just like, here's some nonsense that I found on the toilet paper after I wiped my ass. I'm going to put it on this video.
Yeah.
That looks like an A.
I wish flat earthers would use ridiculous jargon more instead of using words that have conventional meaning, for them to say the reason why it looks this way is because it is smorgelflagging because of the skagrunkle of the Blocknarg. And that way, at least we would have a better sense that they're just making up shit.
There is a Monty Python skit called How to Annoy People. And it has a couple pilots who are completely bored. And they say, no need to panic. The engine is not on fire. You know, and then they look back and see everybody looking out the window at the engines, trying to figure out if it, you know, why would they say that if the engine was on fire? You know,
Exactly.
And at one point they go, "Oh, I know, technobabble. Please put the whammets and the rivets on the left side, but do not get up from your seat." Stuff like that.
Yeah, there were some old. If you have the joys of watching a lot of really old movies made during the 40s and 50s, there were a lot of parodies of that kind of babble that was used in a lot of advertisements. So the kind of chemicals that supposedly were in toothpaste, and there were a whole bunch of things that would pop, and there would be parodies of that would be done in movies and radio shows and all of that. It was quite a trope that we need to revive. The objects will appear to be at your eye level, even though they are above it. Can anyone translate that into English?
Chief Mondo, can we go back just a few seconds? I wanted to see what he was saying about compression there.
Impression.
Oh, that could be interesting.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll translate. It's things and things and things, because I don't want to prove things that disprove my things that will sell me books.
There we go. Yeah, that was it. Everything on Earth in the distances
into the horizon
will compress into the horizon simply due to perspective.
Perspective.
Nothing that is said on there holds to any kind of observable reality.
But remember, they spell perspective with really big font, so it must be true.
Can we just dismiss this with the simple fact that if the Earth is flat, there isn't a horizon?
That's true.
Well, now, yeah. Unless they're clear on what the shape of the Earth is, has any of them been clear on the shape of the Earth?
No.
Oh,
it's
damn it!
It's not a globe.
I feel we're not going to get any sound science from this.
But the thing is, they always use global positioning systems to, you know,
from the non-existent satellites. Yes.
Yeah.
They just say they're all in thingies.
Towers too, so I don't know.
Yeah. See, now why now? Can we not make a legitimate argument that Sarcastic Barman lives at the very center of the Earth, that Wales is in fact the center of the Earth? Why do they keep on going for this North Pole thing that they keep on putting up in their pictures, you know?
No. Greenwich is the center of Earth because that's where all the time in the world comes from.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes. I have Phileas Fogg give a little hat nod to that in the second Fogg novel as he passes by.
That's one. Also, cheese. Ding dong.
Yes, sir. Ding dong.
Ding dong.
Oh.
Check the meats.
Oh.
And while you're doing that, I've got an interview quote from Eric DeBay.
You are either lying or you're stupid. I'm stupid.
I'm out of money this week, otherwise I'd start putting up some super chats, by the way. Come on, guys.
All these people with accents were taking over the show.
Hi, Sai.
Look out, the boss is in. Hey, Sai.
Hello. Can anybody hear me?
Hey, Sai.
Yes, we hear you. Yay.
Woohoo. I made it.
Now, is your logo that of the laser firing penguins, Sai Straggling?
It is, yes.
I knew if we said her name 3 times, that should show up. So
we know there's power there.
Yeah.
We just got to see. You just got to the point where we found out that things compress into the horizon, and we were all wondering what the hell that means.
Ooh, so exciting.
Yeah,
I'm super excited.
So I'm just wondering if you were to raise up, go higher, like up on a mountain, does that increase the compression?
Yeah. Oh. We need to have a formula for this.
Don't ask sensible questions.
Sorry, of course not. Yes, there we go. But who the hell are we asking formulas from a flat earther? Can they even tie their shoelaces?
Don't go bringing
me around. Give us the internal angles and write it of an isosceles triangle. So
now, this clown that has made this movie, have they made lots of movies?
Oh, yes.
Their
possibly.
Primary.
Oh, yeah, Durf? Oh, yeah. Yeah, and even ones that he's actually talked in.
Ooh, moving beyond the type font.
Yeah.
And Rinimi has got a fire-breathing dragon.
Yeah, cool. I think
he's got cooler logos now.
Moving on.
Yeah. Let's find.
At least it's not that dramatic.
Expect everybody to be slow readers too.
A fence. Ooh.
There goes the sun.
Wait a minute. Why did the sun pause on that?
Why is it going on an angle?
Why is the fence a fucking not letting the sun be seen? It's fucking blocking it out, exactly like we see on Earth.
Now, why aren't I seeing
in the way?
Compression? Where's the compression?
You'd ask the question to get you this response.
You okay, Vegeta? Yes, just an act of sheer stupidity.
And that is how stupid that question is when it comes to flat earthers, simply because they're not going to be consistent in their fucking arguments. We know this shit. It's all stupid.
See, I want to know why the sun is moving on an angle and why it moves at different angles based on the time of year. It's like they don't want to think about all the data.
No, but always at the same speed as well, no matter where it is on that flat Earth. I don't even want to say map, but you know what I mean.
Or how about lighting the
thing with clouds? That always has the. I would love to see them actually try working out a flat Earth model where whales the Earth, and just see whether or not it's any less implausible than the one they try to offer.
Has anyone asked a flat earther why it is that the length of the day is not consistent?
For reasons.
But there's a big light up in the sky on a little railroad car. and it shines like a big flashlight with a thing around it, like a lampshade, and that somehow or other it kind of wobbles around and makes the sunlight different, and that they don't actually work out like what the daylight is in other places and in relation to all the other things of history, and they don't connect it up with actual observations or measurements. And with that, it's so much easier.
I've always noticed that they don't light half the Earth either. It's maybe a quarter, being generous.
It's what fits their sort of belief of weird-shaped Earthness. Has anyone asked a flat earther, how does the sun stay up there? If everything's density and buoyancy, why doesn't it fall down?
They say,
it's made from snorkel flap.
Snorkel flap? Wow, that's really rare.
Snorkel flap does that. You should know that, sarcastic Warman. I mean, this is common knowledge.
Is that stronger than fish oil, or?
Well, I thought that the sun
it's just like Uncadium, but purple.
I thought the sun and moon were like attached to the underside of the dome.
With what?
Well, that's another thing.
String,
yeah.
Super glue?
Well, yeah, I don't know with what, but
see, if you could actually travel into space to see the tracks that they're on, you would see a big sign, Scene 5, Act 4, because you're just in the set design of what was going on. Because there's actually no other universe there. It saves a lot of budget if it's all scrims.
Would that be on one of those movie posters / books?
Yeah. Oh yes, indeed. Yeah, and I want to know whether or not we're going to get any more skivvy on those telepathic transporting space spiders that are holding the
Sasquatch
or Sasquatch's prisoner in that cave. I mean, I have been losing up to 2 or 3 microseconds of sleep every week on that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
But see, I thought if we were going to space, we'd come across a planet that has God's last words to his creation, saying, "Don't panic."
Yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't "Don't panic." It was a big friendly letters. I can't remember what it said though. Darn. I know the dolphins left us a message so long. Thanks for all the fish, but I mean,
well, the problem with the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is they don't have it in as big a font as our video here is doing. See, so it can't be true.
There we go.
Yeah, they have small print.
Shall we move on?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, damn! Our delays have failed.
Wad and Toad and never mind. Wad and Toad and Darren Marshall saying we apologise for the inconvenience.
Oh yeah, there we go. That was it.
How we get grass to fed?
Thank you. We have the smartest audience, I tell you.
We do. I think they're trees.
Oh well, from where I can see them, they look like squiggly grass, but maybe they're peculiar trees, fractal trees.
It's the wrong type.
I don't know what he's trying to prove.
This is what AstroTurf looks like through an electron microscope.
Oh, okay. And the fact that he knows some kind of animation software, maybe
not
Adobe
very
or something.
Animation software. But,
this is a video of the sun actually going, and he's just learned how to put another object in front of it while removing the background of that object. He doesn't know animation software. Fuck off.
Because we don't want to actually see the actual horizon and the actual environment, lest we fail to observe the compression that occurs due to perspective.
Yeah.
That seems to be having a little bit of trouble there. Oh, okay.
Now, is this filmed in Mordor or Narnia?
Well, I don't think it's a tower, so.
Yeah, Mordor doesn't have any trees, just volcanoes. And it's really cold.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, they need a few throw rugs. That'll gussy it up a place. A Starbucks, a Motel 6.
Starbucks in every corner. They can see each other.
Yeah, that'd be Gondor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They got boy. You can't walk around one flame-breathing dragon in Gondor without hitting a damn Starbucks these days. It's just pathetic.
Oh, play more videos.
Yeah, let's see more sun moving.
Those are not trees.
Trees. Here it goes. They're not doing anything that is unlike. Here it goes.
Buildings now.
Ooh, now in the city. And there it goes again. Boy, those are tall buildings.
I want to go drink again already. I'm really sorry.
Hey, Tornado does it every other second, so go ahead.
Oh, fair enough.
Tornado does that every 10th of a second.
Why didn't he just go out and actually record these scenes? Why has he got to make fucking fake videos of it? Why do trees and buildings and things not exist in real life where the sun fucking sets? What's he trying to fucking prove? Also, do anyone else when he saw trees? Also, anyone else when they saw trees, you just think of Monty Python. You must cut down the biggest tree in the forest with a herring.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not even a particularly nice landscape. Couldn't we have something we know with the Eiffel Tower or something? What is this, Beirut? Out.
No, I swear it's some kid's Lego playset.
Yeah, he can't get pictures of real trees and buildings because they won't let him out of the basement.
Oh no, I like Cajun crustaceans. I call bullshit. Those buildings should be bursting into flames. Yeah, being that close to the sun.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing that doesn't happen before. Well, now we also have to consider whether or not the sun is the source for the Jewish space lasers.
We're Jews in space.
Yeah, along with the penguins with lightsabers that are guarding the Arctic.
Does anyone want to have all of the really genuinely wacky people in the world together in a room, locked? And then you say, okay, kids, now you come to complete agreement. Can't leave until you do.
That would be fun.
We'd just be
and we could watch
Nathan
it. We could sell the pay-per-view could make millions.
Now, you know what would be more fun? Let's hack into either Google Meets or whatever Nathan Oakley uses for his shows and disable his mute button.
Well, he'll just shout everybody down. He doesn't care.
That's true.
Yes.
I think for
Oakley
next
is
week's
the same
show we need
species
to
as
have
Leonardo da Vinci. Isn't that disconcerting?
I think for next week's show we need to have one of Marjorie Taylor Greene's speeches on here.
Oh God.
And I'm not sure which is more weirdly dissembling, her Wackaloon stuff that she's posted or her disavowal of the Wackaloon stuff that she gave in the Congress.
There we go. Caught up on my
Will it
drink.
surprise you to know she also thinks there was a global flood?
By the way,
do.
Tonight's tasty beverage, not a sponsor, but hey, if they want to, I drink enough of their stuff.
Glass of iced tea, Lipton.
I finished my wine, unfortunately, so I'm just on soft drinks now. But it is almost 5 in the morning.
Oh, let's see here.
Yes, you're over there in that European time.
Yeah, real time.
Yeah, off there in the future.
We've already established that GMT is the home of all time. You're just behind us.
Yeah. So are we going to let the video play some more so that we can see the sun go down in front of a variety of irrelevant front edges? How many more? We got your grass or trees. We got your fence posts. We got your generic city. Are we going to have ones in front of mountains? Are we going to have some on the ocean? Are we going to have any in front of a set of marching forks and knives? What exactly are we going to see?
It's going to be places he's familiar with next. So the first one will be the strip club. The one after that will be the 7-Eleven where he buys his booze. The one after that will be where he gets his checks for not having a job and shit like that. And the one after that will be his mum's house where he lives. In the basement.
And and the pawn shop, and also the bail bondsman to cover the various restraining orders.
Yeah. Oh, and the blood donation clinic, because that's where he makes at least some money.
Yeah.
And the sperm bank.
Yeah, there we go.
But
Good grief.
at least he's not a First Amendment auditor.
Oh,
no, can't see more of that sun.
Okay.
And there we go. There's the mountains.
It's moving the same way that it has all the other ones, so it must be at the same time.
There's something wrong with the lighting on there.
Yeah.
Just a bit. Just a bit.
Yeah. It's almost like this is not an actual photograph.
I mean, okay, my brain hurts.
Does anyone think it's the same video of the sun just with different foregrounds?
Yes.
I'm beginning to think that. No.
Just seeing the sun going down behind him and having the front of the mountains lit, it's almost giving me seasickness.
Jenny! We got
my eyes and my brain is
here.
saying two different things.
Jenny.
Jenny.
I'm sorry, I was muted. I'm just still trying to catch up and wondering what the video that you're talking about looks like.
It looks like stupidness ran into a fan.
And it looks like
a truck.
A stock shot.
Oh, so standard flat Earth fare.
Yeah.
And of course,
okay.
The sun is in exactly the same date for each time. And by definition, it would have to be on the same latitude and date. And so it's belying the fact that that's not true for all the planet for any given time frame because the Earth isn't flat.
Nope.
What can I say?
Well,
it's very small areas.
Okay, and I just saw a message from Sai that her connection's giving her problems and making everybody sound like they're roboting, so she's probably not going to be participating a lot, but still listening.
Okay. Well, Cheesemondo, you will carry the torch of truth.
I'm not sure there's going to be much truth in any of these videos, but should we watch a little bit more?
Yeah, see how many more landscapes he can milk out of that.
May I ask the title of this video and what they're supposedly going to prove to us?
This is to do with
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, sunset and
it's
the flat Earth.
It's dearth.
Oh, dearth. Okay, well that explains everything. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, their claim is that the sunset is explained on a flat Earth completely by perspective and compression.
Yeah, it that objects compress when they get to the horizon because of perspective. Although so far we have seen no examples of this compression that they are alleging happens when things get near the horizon.
Well, but things do compress with not because of perspective, but as an observable thing during perspective. They do get compressed, but they get compressed sideways and up and down.
And they don't look a damn bit like what we're seeing on our show.
Okay.
So far he has shown the same shot of the sunset with a variety of interchangeable and irrelevant foreground. We've seen a fence. We've seen either forests or AstroTurf at close angle. And we got a cityscape of undetermined location and a mountain thing that looks kind of desert-like. You think he could put like a moonscape in there just for amusement? They could put something like from Star Wars, a Tatooine or something just for variety.
And they're not even showing actual footage of the sun setting. They're showing their own animation, which still fails to illustrate their point.
They haven't offered any arc second measurement of the sun or anything like that, right? Okay, sorry I asked.
Measurements and flat Earth. God, anyone think you were new to this?
Well, I can just tell.
Drink. Has been said. What about that 0.1% of the time? When Flat Earth was asked about this, they just said. They didn't answer any questions about that 1% of the time because they realised actually the other way around. 99.9% of the time it's because the Earth's going and moving and the sun's going behind the curve. The other 0.01% of the time is when the sun's actually hidden by perspective-y light-bending shit. So shut up, stupid people.
That makes absolutely no sense, that text.
Okay, but if I'm understanding what they're saying, it's as the sun goes down, the atmosphere becomes too dense to see it.
Yes.
That's kind of what he said.
Even though no evidence was offered even in this video for that.
Oh, God.
Merely corroborative detail to provide artistic verisimilitude for an otherwise bold and unconvincing narrative, to quote Gilbert and Sullivan.
Shall we move on?
I need the facepalm oven mitt. Oh.
Moving on.
Let's see. I'm sure they're going to put more science in.
Don't be silly.
Super clear day. On a clear day, you can see this is stupid.
And he stole a filter? No.
I question the validity of this footage. What the?
The intensity of light diminishes over distance and can no longer push through to the observer. It gets so tired, the poor little light waves start making very sad sounds like little wheezy old man.
Someone needs to change the battery in his sun.
Could we see that? Could we see that again?
What? When the aliens abducted the sun?
When the aliens abducted the sun, the Sasquatches, they needed it for the.
Well, I was more thinking trying to see the beginning of the dissolve transition.
Oh, that was funny.
Is that
a super clear day
out there?
Yeah.
A little bit
we
more.
Didn't get any discussion of why the sun was moving on an angle.
No,
it's not moving at all. It's just a dissolve. We just did a dissolve.
Orange ball.
That's all.
Stuff.
That's just CGI.
Fades away like a lens flame.
Yeah,
so
that's not at all
the
what
light
I've seen when I watch a sunset.
Diminishes over distance. So without moving, ceases to be able to come to you for reasons that are unclear because the atmosphere is somehow changed in it not moving.
Yeah, the air blew more wind, or the wind blew more air in the way. So It got denser.
Because that's what we always see at a sunset, that the sun remains to be a completely circular object.
Well,
it's
and
not
with
like
more
part of it
air
gets
there,
cut off
the
at
light gets higher.
bottom.
Yeah, see, I didn't see any compression.
Definitely.
I know what compression looks like. You take a tomato, you put it in a vise, and it gets compressed. I don't see any
thought you was using PK zip.
You think compression is a word that the fellow who made this does not understand?
You assume they understand anything.
Yeah.
That could be my false assumption right there. He does know how to put
word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Yes.
Oh. I think Renee's with us now.
Yay. Princess Bride.
Okay.
What, you mean this one?
Using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Yes.
There we go.
You have
a whole soundboard there, Sarcastic.
Nope. I have a mixer and I just have a load of fucking files on my computer called piss takes.
Gopher music.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Hey, everyone expected the Spanish Inquisition. They had to give 3 months' notice.
And did everybody
Absolutely. They
mentally
have to make
picture?
sure they bring their fluffy pillows.
Did everybody picture in their mind when they heard that last bit of music the rodent turning and looking at us?
Yeah.
The gopher, the dramatic gopher.
So, am I going to be able to successfully that the remainder of this video will not be a pileup of either reference footnotes or technical science formula?
I think it will be, but I have to. Go on.
I don't think he understands what a footnote is, other than being one. So
hey, wait,
that's what happens when he drops the music score and it hits his shoe.
I think it is safe to assume we will be spared the math.
Yeah.
Just jump right in there.
Oh, good. Well, I was told there was going to be no math, so.
So a footnote isn't the thing you write on your foot, so when you're lying on the sofa, your wife can walk past and see it, and when he goes, if you can see this, bring beer, so she just knows to throw shit at you and say, stop being a cheeky fucker.
Yeah.
Okay.
You sound like you have a lot of experience in that, Barman.
Getting beaten up by my wife? Yep.
Yes.
Now, on the
Jess.
Jaron scale, which is the scale of stupidity, where one Jaron is an average Jaron flat Earth movie, this is only about 0.0005 because this is very lazy flat Earthism. This has no panache. It has no exuberance, no joie de vivre. It's just drab. It's sad. It's depressing. So, doesn't he take pride in his stupidity?
At the moment, it's only good. Give it some time; it can get stupider.
So there's like a stupid contraction equation as you move towards the speed of dumb, that the amount of stuff increases towards the end, something like that.
I think it's the longer we let him talk, the more stupid he becomes. So I have this to say.
Get on with it. Yes.
No, I think the longer we let him talk, the more stupid we'll become.
To be fair, he hasn't actually talked. He's only screened so far.
I think that for his...
This is as engaging as Twitter.
I think for his text cards in between his feature, he should fire his typographer. They're really lousy at their job.
Yeah, it's very conventional. I mean, can't we at least get some unreadable German graphics, like stuff from about Martin Luther's era, so that you can't really find out what it is? That at least makes the stupid easier to conceal because you can't read the typeface. This is far too legible.
There's 51 seconds of this video left.
Let's play all 51 seconds and save up all the dumb.
Before we do,
no drink calls.
Okay, before we do though,
Tornadoes
Cajun
there.
Crustacean had the skinny on that paper. It said the notice was in the municipal office basement, stuck in a locked cabinet, and unused lavatory with a sign that said "Beware of leopards."
Yes, that was next to the highway bypass announcement.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, sorry, tornado's sleeping, so I had to get hold of somebody to give me the link.
Magneto, yay!
Okie doke.
Yeah, I'm not on Twitter,
To
so.
speed, we've been watching the Flat Earth video where literally what you're seeing on the screen is pretty much the kind of what we've been seeing for the last few minutes.
Aha. Okay.
Yeah. Where apparently the Earth is flat because sunsets compress at the horizon in a way that we cannot observe even in the that he's just presented.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Yeah. And it's all due to perspective, which is printed in really big typeface in the other slides, and that means it's true.
Okay.
Hi, Ran.
Hi, Cheesemondo.
Hello.
This is apparently such a bad theory that even their own animation cannot show how it works, let alone using actual video.
Running from it, yes.
Dolby Illustrator
Well,
said when what?
Yeah, let's find out. We got 51 seconds of this extraordinary tome to look at.
I'm going to let it run. I'm vetoing drinks.
Okay.
Okay. Flat Earth. Can he put a QED up? Oh. Wow.
That's it. Wow.
Okay, let's see some more stupid. I
want my money
something
back.
better than this.
I want my time back.
I'm sorry, to claim you've proven something kind of requires having presented evidence at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as I said, that's why this is 0.000005 gerunds. This is way below standard.
Yeah, I think as well, they just need to start watching some more Father Ted, because he would explain it all for me. Just go.
These are small, but the ones out there are far away.
Perfect perspective for explaining.
Yeah.
Well, should we have a look at the wheel and see where we're going next?
Yeah, let's give the wheel
let's
another
find out
spin.
one of the
Do we
other
have
shows,
any-
because you had a pretty good selection of stupid.
Do we have any Karen videos?
There is
Wheel
no
of
Karen on the
Misfortune.
wheel
Turn,
tonight.
turn, turn. Show us the stupid that we should burn.
Yeah, Tornado's not here to do that tonight.
Did it actually land on something or land on
Where
the
have
line?
we landed?
It had landed on Pyramid Power. This one was submitted by Purple.
It's on the ground ledge. Well, I went and checked out
Pyramids,
Spirit
my
Science's channel because
area.
they're always good for something.
The pyramids in my head.
Here we go.
Hey there. Today we're going to look at something.
Oh
a little
no,
out
not this guy. Oh,
even perhaps,
God.
but it's something that, if true,
Oh.
could spark such a massive paradigm shift for all of humanity. It could rewrite the history books and completely change our understanding of energy and the world itself. Today, we're looking at pyramids.
Drink.
For all of humanity, so it must be important.
I just wanted to make the general statement that, this guy is full of shit, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Continue on.
In fact,
Thanks.
if you look in the encyclopedia under shit, you'll see that image.
Shit, comma, full of, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we need to
Cross-reference,
put
see
the
Jaredism.
do we need to put the safety disclaimer on here to never take advice from a sock puppet that's had a lobotomy?
Yes.
No neck.
telling the audience to back away from the screen so they're not in pinching distance.
I will say, however, that Spirit Science has a level of animation that is a quantum leap ahead of the video that we just saw.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. At least the visuals are entertaining.
Yeah. Well, I won't go that far.
Reminds me of a deformed Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah.
No, because he's blue.
Little
What is he like?
little eyes and little wobbly hands and blobby feet and no genitalia.
I've had blue mushrooms. They're really, really old and hard, but they're still blue.
Mm.
Spirit Science. Okay, let's find out about the razor blade.
Wait. I figured it out. I
here.
know what he is. It's actually a discarded surgical glove.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Actually, the head always reminded me of the cubes, the cube mints that you get at the grocery store checkout lines.
Okay.
They make me think about like he escaped from a Teletubby's belly.
Yeah, Teletubby navel lint.
Okay.
That sun baby scares me though. It sees
Now let's find out about the pyramids. Let's see how much Egyptology we're going to be getting in there and whether or not he pays attention to anybody's pyramids except the Egyptian ones.
Cajun Crustacean says he looks like Gumby's less popular brain-damaged cousin.
Oh, those of us old enough to remember watching Gumby on TV live.
Me?
I'm Gumby, damn it.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Gumby kind of weirded me out.
It was very surreal stuff, remarkably quirky for beyond just the imagery of it. Yeah, but that's way back in the 1950s in the ancient times.
I grew up on HR Puffs and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, you're a new kid.
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's see Spirit Science. Let's see those pyramids. Lesson 42. Pyramid power is
Besides
real.
the fact that pyramids are just
Hey,
cool,
42.
what scientists are discovering today are the implications of the pyramidal shape itself and the curious energetic effects that are observed when studying these amazing structures. As always, I humbly ask that you come with an open mind as we dive into this very curious phenomenon. Way back in the 1970s, the pyramid power movement exploded for a very short period of time. It was the idea that the pyramids of Egypt could be harnessing some kind of unknown, mysterious cosmic power, and was quickly laughed off by skeptics as a brief moment of gullible behavior on everyone's part.
There were a lot of drugs going on during that
Very
time.
popular in specific circles, especially those who believed that aliens or giants had helped to build the pyramids in the first place. Or maybe giants building them with the help of aliens? Anunnaki Nephilim giant slave?
Giant aliens?
What is it with people thinking that we need giants or aliens to build the pyramids? Does he not think we're intelligent enough to do them?
Well, if we're dependent upon the people that made this video to build the pyramids, he'd have a point.
That is true. But he's just stupid. He is a
cheeky dick waffle.
That's it. He's just stupid.
You got any quotes from Stargate in there? Because
I hope so. There's an aqua generator.
I love the lips on the guy with the double chin.
I've just noticed he's got 3 eyes as well.
Yes, he has his little pineal eye is in full gear.
Could use a nose job.
Yeah. It's a little like Kirk Douglas if he decided to play an alien.
Kind of, sort of, except the chin is awful big.
He was Spartacus.
Okay, let's get some more of this pyramid stuff.
Builders?
Does it?
Anyway,
No,
a lot of
nails
the
are
original
up,
excitement came from the story of a Frenchman named Antoine Bovis, who apparently visited the Great Pyramid in the early 20th century. According to the story in many of the 1970s pyramid books, Bovis found a garbage can in the king's chamber with the bodies of dead cats and other animals in it. But apparently, they weren't decomposing or smelling bad at all. In fact, just like the pharaohs, they had been dried out and mummified almost perfectly. People were quick to jump on the bandwagon though, and began to
Yeah. So let me get this straight here. You have this garbage can inside of the pyramids, and he's just kind of wandering around, and there's all these like cat mummies or something that's left in there. Unfortunately, what we know about the various pyramids and their construction renders this hypothesis extremely implausible.
How did he know it was a garbage can?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, well, maybe because it had like garbage written on it.
Trash, paper only,
trash.
you know, or
in hieroglyphs.
Plastics 1, 2, 3, 5.
Yeah. This was in the old days because, as we know, in the old kingdom they didn't do proper recycling. If you visited in the new kingdom, they would have had them divvied up according to various kind of recycling. They were much more ecologically sound back in the new kingdom.
Okay.
Heck, it's as plausible as this video.
I just want to know, when is it going to replace solar power?
Yeah. Why does he have little patches on his body? Is he like a poor threadbare hand-me-down blue blob critter?
I think he's a stuffed toy.
Ah, okay. Okie doke. And he always speaks at a lectern.
With mittens.
Very professorial of him.
Actually, not always. There's a couple of them that he's sitting at a campfire trying to explain it to a friend of his.
With mittens.
Meanwhile, the friends are thinking, I wonder if I can toast him like a marshmallow.
Maybe. That is a curious thought there.
Let's move on.
Easily pick holes in the story. Aside from basic science telling us that aridity helps to preserve or slow down decomposition, for one, both big-time excavators and the Egyptian Antiquities Board pointed out that there had never been a trash can inside the pyramid, as it would have interfered with research. Further, it came to light that Bovis actually had never even left France. It turns out that he actually just built a mini wooden model of the Great Pyramid in his backyard and apparently managed to mummify a dead cat in there himself.
Your argument here,
misinterpreted the experiment. Once word of Bovis's real experiment began to spread across Europe, though, it was picked up by a man named Karol Durbel in Prague in 1949, who experimented further and claimed that razor blades placed inside model pyramids would hold their sharpness for much longer, or even sometimes re-sharpen. In fact, he was so sure of it that he applied to the Czech government for a commercial patent to sell these pyramid machines in grocery and hardware stores. Seriously, we'll leave a link to the official patent in our sources. But, like any sane government department, the patent office in Prague refused to honor.
Just because there's a patent doesn't mean it works or that it's real. I mean, patent, all it does is protect your intellectual property from being claimed by someone else.
Nobody claimed your intellectual property was smart or true.
That's right. You know, I saw a patent for a prostate warmer. All it was a 100-watt light bulb.
Did you notice how many said
the really big disaster was for the drive-through prostate warmers?
Did you notice how when he said he'd leave a link to the patents, he gave a little wink?
Yeah. And the fact is that when in his other videos has he ever been very good on documentation at all, but this he gives a link to?
Well, that's actually how Nikola Tesla came up with the Tesla coil, that he was trying to develop a new and improved prostate warmer, and it kind of didn't go very well.
Or went too well.
Oh, David.
Hi.
Oi, yeah.
Shall we move on?
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, let's see those sharpened
process his discovery
razor
until their chief
blades.
scientist could get the same results. But then things got weird, because he actually succeeded, and Durbel got his patent. Now, Durbel was a radio engineer and had no idea how the pyramid shapes were working. He just knew that they did. He theorized that his device would focus the Earth's magnetic field, although he did not make it clear how this would work, or whether the device's shape or materials were related to the effect. Interestingly, the idea of magnetics playing a role in the sharpness of razors wasn't new to the pyramid craze. Since the 1930s, British newspapers had been receiving letters from tons of people claiming that when they put their razors in their bathroom on a certain axis or direction, that they could be used for much longer and provide a better or closer shave. The reason for this is that the magnetic...
No, let me hear the reason for this. Let's go. Maybe they'll redeem themselves.
Fields either help to point the razor's edge on a molecular level in alignment with the razor or away from it. And it seems as though the pyramids were somehow affecting the magnetic fields of the blades too. So this was a phenomenon that was already well in the public mindset for decades before the idea of pyramid power ever came out. Truthfully, no one really knows who discovered this whole thing, but someone who made leaps and bounds and electricity was, of course, everyone's most favorite underappreciated physicist, Nikola Tesla. Now, Tesla deserves his own video entirely, or several movies, I don't know. But needless to say, he's often been described as one of the greatest minds of the scientific age, along with having a reputation for mad science and bridging the gap between metaphysics and regular physics, which, I mean, come on, let's face it, we need more of that today. Of all of his incredible inventions, which for the most part influenced like 80% of our technology today, his Tesla Tower, or Warden...
Before he even gets on Tesla Tower, the Tesla Tower never fucking worked the way he wanted it to. Also, no, if you're going to be a good scientist nowadays, you need a good scientist who's also good at business and not fucking afraid of pigeons, because that's just fucking stupid. But that's not the point. No, you can't go about inventing shit and selling all your patents and then being like, yes, you're so good, we need you to stay. No, because he'd do nothing of any interest or good, because he didn't believe there were fucking atoms to start with. So stop giving him all this fucking credit.
Yeah, physics started moving past where his brain was in 1910.
Yeah.
Well, and if sharpening blades could be done by aligning it with the magnetic lines, then wouldn't we be able to sharpen knives by just putting them in an electromagnet?
You'd think so.
As long as it's directed the right angle. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But
in theory, does anybody easily verifiable?
Do people know?
So apparently my
really
razor
happens?
blades go dull because I'm laying them down the wrong direction.
Do people know what happens on the microscopic level when a bladed item, could be a razor blade, knife, whatever, gets dull? What actually happens to what's going on if you look close enough? It's the thinness of the sharp just bends over to one side or the other. That's all dullness is. The sharpness is still there, but it's just folded over. And so when you take like the classic a straight razor on a leather strop, one of the guys going back and forth, blah 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 blah, just sharpen it up. It works because it is either bending that back and forth enough that the tab that has bent over falls off, or it is straightening it out enough because the steel is tough enough to be able to hold it once it's bent back into shape. Same process.
Now, if you're going to just present
steel, go ahead.
Relevant information from modern science being able to photograph things at a microscopic level, Jenny, you're taking all the fun out of this.
I'm sorry.
I mean, how can you possibly expect a proper pseudoscience environment if you're going to keep on bringing up facts?
Sorry.
So rude.
Sheesh. Boy, the next thing you're gonna be telling me that my dehydrated unicorn horns aren't worth anything either.
They're not.
I tell you, this is just gonna be a terrible nut for us all here. But we get to see sparkles hitting the Tesla Tower.
Oh my God.
Well, Mark Bazer's saying Tesla towers could have worked if you put them every 100 feet or so and didn't mind killing people. So isn't that what they're doing with 5G?
Almost as
okay.
Slightly worse than Thomas Edison's plan to have everything under a direct current, where he'd have to have a power plant every half mile.
Yeah.
Well, we have cell towers every 2 miles.
Yes, all embedding codes in our COVID viruses.
Yeah, really.
You know, Edison said if we went with his plan, electricity would become so cheap it wouldn't be worth installing meters.
Yeah, they said that about nuclear power too.
Hmm.
Oh well.
Damn.
Well, Philo Farnsworth was predicting that all homes would have their own atomic generator.
And
powering the house.
And at the 1962 Seattle World's Fair, I saw the Ford Nucleon, or at least a mock-up of it, which had the atomic-powered car of the 21st century. You had this little car, and there was this little wagon, a hitch behind it, the little trailer that contained the nuclear reactor. Apparently, they reasoned that you wouldn't want the reactor immediately adjacent to the trunk, that you would want to have it just slightly behind the car.
You know, the number one selling feature of that car was, though, any kind of a highway accident would have been self-cleaning.
Yeah, there we go. Or in the same way Chernobyl was self-cleaning.
Oh, God. So you made the joke about, obviously, electric being so cheap it's not worth installing the meters. Don't forget, there were times over the last couple of years where places like Germany had that much wind and solar energy that they were actually paying people to use the electric based on the tariffs they were on. It's like, yes, if there's this much electric, you get this much off. If there's this much wind, you get this much off. Yeah, what happens on a really windy, sunny day? Ah, shit, we didn't think that far ahead. We'll give you 1 pence per unit if you use it. Yay!
Whatever happened to that company that was
rational electric grid?
Whatever happened to that company that was trying to do the, what was it? The solar roads.
Oh, they caught fire.
Solar freaking roadways.
That's never going to happen.
Caught fire.
It will never happen. It will never happen. It's
piezoelectric.
It's an impossible product.
Yeah,
Thunderfoot
has done quite a bit on it, and unfortunately, I think that the company may still exist because they keep managing to sucker government agencies into sending them money.
Yeah. I think all of this is a bunch of urban mythology. I think you're all full of shit.
No,
I've never seen one test, one video, one actual demonstration of this product. It's been people talking with little models or something in the background, but it has never worked.
There was one demonstration that they built an installment that was basically on a little square kind of patio thing somewhere. I forget which city it was.
Scalability matters.
The problem they were having with it is that, it never did work, that they had to pump more power into it than it was producing.
Okay. Let me just bring out one suggestion. Okay, so you have this lovely photovoltaic cell system the size of a road, and it's protected by this glass over it, as they describe in their invention and stuff. What's it going to be like when your rubber tires get wet and are on glass?
Yeah. Exactly. What kind of air and surface is going to give vehicles enough friction to stop?
And then when one of the panels breaks the electrical circuit, you have the entire grid go down until someone goes out and replaces that panel.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Los Angeles, you don't have any more power. US 5 is gone, is broken. It was a bus.
Well, back to our sparkly lightning bolt Tesla shill here.
Back to the pyramids.
Cliff Wireless Energy Transfer.
Yeah, we're
is probably his most famous.
Pyramids.
His generators and tech are very mysterious, and nobody quite knows how they were going to work. But the essential idea was that they would allow the sharing of energy wirelessly from anywhere a tower was set up. One theory about how this would have worked was that it was designed to tap into the ionosphere of the Earth, a current of electrically charged particles in the atmosphere, to provide free electricity to wherever the resonators were. See, Tesla thought the Earth acted like a huge natural generator, spinning on its magnetic poles and generating electrical charge that he thought could be tapped into to provide free and renewable energy. There are a lot of rumors around the internet that Tesla was fascinated by the pyramids, and even based some of his designs off of their structure, like his so-called electromagnetic pyramid. A common phrase you'll hear in some Tesla conspiracy sites is that when he created his generators, he placed them in certain positions according to the laws of where the pyramids of Giza were built, related to the relationship between the elliptical orbit of the planet and the equator.
What are these laws for placing these things? I'm assuming ley lines have got to be involved in there somewhere.
Well, they have to have a certain angle relative to north, and then duplicate the dots of Orion's belt.
Yeah. Which north? True north, magnetic north, masturbation north, or the same north you put your razor blades on to sharpen them up?
Yeah. And remember, if you don't properly buckle your Orion's belt, it will not work.
Yeah, but it makes it easier to find masturbation north. So
he's even gone further than, not having citations, as he is actually saying rumors on the internet are his evidence.
We're getting back to that prostate warmer, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. The Tesla prostate warmer that he tried out on J.P. Morgan, and that's why they never spoke again.
Prostate warmer. Is that not just having a really nice wife?
No.
No.
Well, adventurous maybe.
Oh, dear me.
The problem is it requires 85 AA batteries.
Fucking hell.
I like the one with the 8 B cells. That's
you guys
looking to make free energy. He is looking for the free distribution of energy.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to be not expecting a footnote or documentation for the alleged claims about the orientation of objects in relation to Tesla's presumably non-existent discussion of the pyramids.
Right.
Okay.
Moving on.
Just get you up to speed here. For those of you who went through Mind Blob.
And I think that this guy should, get some kind of special award for misrepresenting Tesla's research, which never worked anyway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And misrepresenting the title of his show, which really isn't much about pyramids.
Yeah, how far into this are we? And we haven't heard about the pyramids, really?
Commander, how far are we into this stupid video?
We are 5 minutes in. There's 12 minutes left.
Oh, well, there, 12 minutes. There's more than enough for him to discuss pyramids in a way exactly as detailed as he's been so far.
Let's release the play button and find out.
Yep. Carry on.
Half right, and yet it's still spread as truth. The orbit of the Earth around the Sun has nothing to do with traditional energy transmission here on Earth. Instead, I think this is another misunderstanding. See, his free energy generators were placed according to the location of the Great Pyramid, sure, but the law being referred to is that they had to be located on top of aquifers or water sources, just as the Great Pyramid was, with the theory being that the running water would act as a natural conductor on one side of the circuit. On one hand, I can see how people might be skeptical about this idea, especially since even Tesla made mistakes in physics before. But some new research published in the Journal of Applied Physics recently showed that the Great Pyramid was actually capable of concentrating electromagnetic energy and waves in its internal chambers
guiding the
and under the base,
from the
where the so-called hidden chamber should be. This is a huge deal, as it seemingly theoretically proves that the pyramid could act as a form of resonator. The team are even using the results they got to design nanoparticles capable of reproducing similar effects in the optical range, which could be used to develop sensors and highly efficient solar cells. In more ways than one, I guess we can say pyramids are the science of the future. Shortly after Tesla's suspicious death in 1943, though, his research and devices disappeared, ironically being analyzed and studied by President Trump's uncle. Yeah, there's a whole conspiracy about that, actually.
President Trump's
the Trump family
uncle.
may be time travelers, but we'll have to cover that at some point later on. But anyways, any notion of the pyramid energy completely disappeared until the 70s.
Yep. We can't let the time travelers go by without a drink, but
which family is this?
I never do.
The Trumps.
The Trumps.
The Trumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Trump family is time travelers.
See, that's wrong. It's
no, the Trump family as pyramid groupies.
It's the Rothschilds, and that's where they came up with their Jewish space lasers.
So maybe he's going to try to argue that it was really the Trumps that built the big pyramid-shaped hotel down in Las Vegas.
Who knows?
Yeah. I should have brought my razor blades with me when I visited that and see if I could sharpen anything up there in the restaurant.
Moving on.
Okay.
Now,
In the 90s and early 2000s,
let's
though,
see
there was a
more.
new explosion of interest when a Russian engineer named Alexander Golod began building his own pyramid models in Russia and the Ukraine. And this is where things get really interesting. Originally, he made them all corresponding to the phi ratio and out of fiberglass and PVC pipes, as he said that any metal would interfere with the conduction inside, a point that is very often overlooked by skeptics. His results were out of the ordinary though, and very, very real. So much so that Golod's pyramids attracted a lot of attention, specifically from high-level scientific authorities in Moscow. Even today, the effects of his pyramids are endorsed and supported by the Russian Academy of Medical Sciences. So, what are these so-called effects?
Needed.
From medicines becoming more effective, to crops producing greater yields, and even the atmosphere cleaning up around the Russian pyramids, it's crazy. And you can check out the link in our sources to see the full range of studies and effects. But needless to say, wherever the pyramids are, the surrounding environment not only grows better, but anything stored inside of them undergoes some kind of change that also makes it better. Don't believe
Drink.
me? Seriously.
What's your control?
Things
What's
around
your
the
control
pyramids.
that proves that? I mean,
things around the pyramid grow better. How does that explain the desert around the pyramids?
You really.
And he said anything inside them undergoes some change. But he started out saying about how they preserved things, which is basically preventing them from changing.
Yeah.
Fermentation does that too. So,
why do I suspect that whatever links he provided in the video are just to a bunch of claptrap sites?
History.
So this guy is playing with little objects on a thing, and he's got some papers, and he's got some blocks, and I have no idea what the hell I'm supposed to be seeing here.
And Mark Bezer points out in the side chat, the pyramids were built over aquifers because the whole fucking Nile Valley was an aquifer.
At one point, yes.
Yeah, at the time they were built.
well, it looks like he has a scarf wrapped around his head.
Mm-hmm. I don't know whether or not that's like a game board of some type or a set of like stone marshmallows that's on a thing. I'm not entirely sure.
Looks like backgammon to me.
It's his calculator.
Too cluttered for backgammon. And he's next to the blocks of stone, which is maybe he was building a little tiny pyramid out of stone. I get the impression that our video maker is not terribly concise or clear about presenting information in a way that is easily accessible from a source level.
Or legitimate in any fashion whatsoever.
Really?
Well, that too.
Well, when this was in the popular media back in the 1970s, Disney even picked up on it. And there was an episode of their comic books when Scrooge McDuck got fascinated with the pyramid power.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the comic book actually gave better information than this video.
There we go. Yeah, that's... I always try to get my science information from Scrooge McDuck cartoons, so that probably is better than this.
But didn't we determine that the... no, never mind. That was
daydreaming.
Maybe Scrooge McDuck was in cahoots with Donald Trump's uncle.
Yeah.
Maybe. Scrooge McDuck does do a lot of time traveling after all.
Absolutely, yes. That's indeed it is.
They took turns doing laps in the gold in the vault.
Maybe.
Now, I want to know whether any of the vaults inside of the pyramid contain any of the Sasquatches that are being held prisoner by the teleporting moon spiders.
Well, think about this. Scrooge McDuck and Donald Trump's uncle both had a nephew named Donald.
Moon spider.
Yeah. And Huey, Dewey, and Louie are of comparable intellect as to the Trump kids.
That is such an insult to the triplets.
That's true. Yes. Yeah. I apologize to you, Dewey and Louie. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, we got 16 drinks. Let's see what more we can get to a 17.
Just check out this clip from Associated Press showing the effects in action.
Ooh. Bottle of water. We are looking at
clean water.
Clean water. Okay. You can see in the bottle, the water is crystallizing. Can we see that, really?
I don't see the water crystallizing.
Medicines were given an almost 3,000% boost. Mice injected with typhoid survived in greater numbers when inside the pyramid. Oil became easier to drill, and some people have even said that impotents and women unable to bear children could miraculously conceive after some time in the pyramids. The effects don't just seem to be limited to the inside of the pyramid.
Drink.
Oh my God.
These are all lies.
How?
Wow.
What is he arguing here? That somebody put one of these pyramids over a drilling platform and that made it easier to drill? How does one determine that claim?
No. He said
what
the
is
oil,
being claimed here?
He said the oil is easier to drill, so it must thin out the oil more.
Yeah, so they clearly, I'd love
ground.
Wouldn't it be appropriate at that point for him to put pictures up of the pyramidal things on the drilling platforms so that we would see this? Because wouldn't it be relatively easy to document unless all of it has been taken by the Moscow government and so is all now top secret?
Yeah,
See, RJ, you're still thinking you're telling the truth.
The part about the water crystallizing has nothing to do with the shape of the pyramid, because I have a white rectangular box in my kitchen that makes water crystallize.
It's called a
refrigerator.
Freezer.
Yep. And so the fact that he's all bundled up means, that this AP video of provenance unknown, circumstance and date unknown. What are the circumstances? Maybe he's down in an extremely cold space. He picks the things out of the insulator and lifts it up, and gee whiz, because it's now in the colder air.
It's crystallizing.
Ta-da! It starts crystallizing. Miracle!
Oh, so miracle.
It's because he's in Russia and can't afford heat.
Yeah.
So there's a gigantic space pyramid that's causing all of the water vapor in the atmosphere to crystallize as snow. I got it. Okay. Now it's all... Gesundheit.
He lives in Siberia, right?
Somewhere like that.
Or somewhere.
Well, he mentioned the Ukraine.
Oh, okay.
Over Ukraine and I crane.
And we all...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Play that video.
Charged in the structure also hold their effects even after being taken out. Interestingly, Dr. Golod also conducted studies of the air above the pyramid with various devices and saw some weird results. For one, a column of unknown energy was detected around the pyramid, some 500 meters wide and 2,000 meters tall. But further investigation seems to be larger, stretching to 300 kilometers wide. Golod's team calculated that if electrical energy were used...
What the hell does unknown energy look like? Is it measured in Clydon waves or spagnifarbs? I mean, if it's unknown, it can't be described by existing measurements and things. Is this like the life sign readings they see on Star Trek tricorders?
Yes.
Yeah. Woo. Unknown energy. It was green, and it was thick, and it oscillated, and it looked like Jell-O, except not. There, see, I'm being sciencey. So all we've got is pictures of this pyramid this guy has built. That's got a little bit of grids around it, and not exactly any sign of fabulous vegetation or wonderments, which I suppose was supposed to be the case. And there we go.
Oscillating oscillates.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oscillating oscillates.
That's ocelots.
Is that like oscillating ocelots?
That's the type
Yes. I'm sorry.
Oscillating oscillates.
It popped in my head. I'm sorry.
That's if you're going to make an energy concatenator.
It's called a soldering iron.
Well, I just saw a thing on Nova where the guy used bacon to cut through a thing. It can be used as a blowtorch.
Oscillating ocelots, caterwauling cat boys.
That's easy for you to say.
Oh, okay, geez. Yeah, I agree with your chat. Let's move on here.
Yeah, let's find out more science. Hopefully, we've only got about 5 minutes left.
We haven't
create
seen
such a
any
massive
science in this
disturbance in the
shit
atmosphere,
anyway.
You would need every
Moving
single power
along
plant in
now.
Russia running at full blast to do it. Furthermore, an ozone hole that was directly over the pyramid closed up only 2 months after they built it. If you want to look at all of these studies and examples, you can check out the book The Source Field Investigations by David Wilcock, as he has an
Citation
entire
fucking
chapter
needed.
dedicated to exploring all of this. Now, I know this all sounds
behind
like
the
hogwash.
2012
After all,
prophecies.
it goes against most of the laws of classical physics. There's no way a simple shape.
Hi, Purple.
So here was a book, The Science Behind the 2012 Prophecies. We do know that it's 2021 now, and none of that worked. So has the expiration date on your pseudoscience outrun you? I mean, really, should you not worry about this a little bit more? Woo!
Yeah. Yeah, you should not be citing expired prophecies.
Yeah.
Yeah, the potency is
dear.
just way down.
Geez, Mondo.
Okay, I'll call for 2 minutes then.
Yeah, we get a long. Oh, we're up to 24. We got 8 drinks in just that short period of time. We apologize to the audience.
I could have called for more, but
I just need to go upstairs just for 2 minutes. So if you could, do you want me to play a bit more and pause, or
Yeah,
what do you
just
want to
hit
do?
it, and we're on our own until you get back.
Yep.
Okay.
Or building can have that kind of effect. And if there really was anything to it, why wouldn't they have built something like it here in the West?
Okay, Jesus gone. Let's talk about
Excuse
it
me,
while
just
he's
something in
taking
my throat
off.
here. Seriously, maybe there's a reason for
We all come up
it.
with.
But actually, even purely scientifically speaking, pyramids are interesting shapes. Pyramid-shaped magnets, for example, create a fixed focal point in the field. And the pyramidal shape tends to exhibit fractal energy much more than any other shapes. So even naturally,
what is
there's some
fractal
weird
energy?
geometry going on. But even with all of this stuff, I'm certain
it's like
skeptics and materialist
unknown
scientists
energy?
could potentially throw this away by saying that the effects are
Please
purely
make it a
psychological,
17 door.
ignoring the healthier ozone, diminished violence in prison, and viscosity of oil as conspiracies, of course. So the question then is, are there any studies that produced measurable effects that could be replicated?
Wow.
And actually,
Good
yes.
question.
So for all of the scientists out there
I'm
watching
back.
this, check this out. Do you remember that thing that started this all off? The
Okay,
idea
drink.
that razor blades could be sharpened?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, he's back.
So apparently, this thing, this pyramid shape, not only helps heal the ozone, but it also decreases violence in prisons and changes the viscosity of oil. Wow. Maybe we should
That's
call this
some
thing God and
miraculous
slap it on
stuff
the ass.
Okay. So I get this impression of a prison with a giant pyramid built over it that was used as a test thing, and then you have the control prison that doesn't have a pyramid on it, and
I
they've conducted
guess
this
I
detailed.
don't
No. You saw him showing the rainbows. It's not prisons, it's prisms. It reduces
prisms.
violence in prisms when they separate the light spectrum.
Oh,
Well, I must
okay,
tell you
okay.
that the juvenile delinquency of the prisms that I've met have been relatively low. So this may not be a particularly viable sampling population for him to argue about.
Right, and of course the prisms are all orange.
Delinquent prisms.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yep. The little prisms run around. They try to stick shivs into the octahedrons and dodecahedrons. You know, the little gang warfare going on with the various crystals and that. It's just really, it gets pretty gruesome.
And that's why they're not allowed
What do
chopsticks.
pyramids do for crystals? I mean, do they recharge them?
I don't know.
Maybe we should ask the famous scientist Billy Crystal.
They're in my
must know about
they're in my life.
Or Miracle Max.
Yes. There we go.
Okay,
I just want to know how they determined this effect on prison populations. Did they bring prisoners in to live inside of the pyramid? That's intriguing.
They made them each wear a little pyramid hat.
That's a possibility.
Behavior exists within the brain, so it
effing citation
pyramid that would go down to the shoulders.
Yeah. So I bumped into people that wore colanders and stuff on their heads and that. So I suppose and I think I may have seen some people wearing pyramids, but you typically want to go the other way as soon as you see them.
I thought those were cheese heads.
Cone heads.
Is anybody here a fan of Devo?
Or for France?
Yeah. I remember all of that too.
I say nothing more.
Yeah. So those were more flower pot shaped, though, weren't they?
We are Devo, D-E-V-O.
Yeah, that was the other way.
That's only because they were trying to call up the flower power age.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Okay.
Or just to be generally potted. Okay, play that video.
Moving on. Let's
roll that beautiful. Well, a Ukrainian scientist, Dr. Krashna, this actually repeated the original experiment with modern scientific equipment and proved, with scanning electron microscope photography, that the pyramid shape was actually able to change the molecular structure along the cutting edge of a razor blade. Unlike what D'Urville seemed to have discovered, though, a north-south alignment did not necessarily make a fresh razor blade any sharper. However, an east-west position had a clear, measurable dulling effect on the blade, transforming its straight, flat surfaces into a lumpy, bumpy, wave-like curve on a microscopic level, which can be seen in his paper in the description. More recently, an experiment by Dr. Crash and some others found that the pyramid shape could also affect electrical currents that were run through it by building a pyramid approximately 3 meters high and running an electrical current through the interior and to the exterior surrounding the area. The interior of the pyramid somehow excited the current. When the current was measured again outside the pyramid, it was found to have been excited by nearly 4 times. In other words, if you were to introduce 1 kilowatt of energy inside the pyramid, you could potentially extract 5 kilowatts from the outside. Imagine a world where everybody's house just had a mini pyramid in the backyard to increase their household power efficiency. Now, Dr. Krasnoholovitz, hey, I did it, and his team at the Great Pyramid.
I don't want to call it drink because we're getting to the end of this thing, but how do you produce more energy than you put in?
Oh, see, there you're going back to thinking that physics was run by rules and stuff.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. And of course, you would think that once you figure out how to do this, you would be definitely making use of it and getting off the grid. And so people would be building pyramids really fast because, boy, it would be empirically easy to demonstrate, would it not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess this is why the Masons have a eye over a pyramid for a symbol, or is that I don't even know if that's a Mason symbol.
The Masonic symbolism, yeah, the original seal of the United States,
the
all-seeing
eye.
Yeah.
CBS uses a modified version of that.
So anyway, I guess there are like science things that were posted somewhere or other in the Journal of Irreproducible Results.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know which one is worse. The sunset proving flat Earth or this.
No, this is worse because all of these claims
is making more actual claims.
What was that, Purple?
All of these claims would be so easily testable.
Yeah. And you would think not only are they testable, but they are monetizable, that they would be the best thing in the world, easily done. And people would be, really replicating all of this stuff. He'd be going around showing you, here's my paper, here's how you do it, you can do it yourself, blah, 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 and everyone would be doing it. And the fact that that apparently is not the case means that whatever effects they think they're getting out of this aren't.
I remember the guys in the mid '80s who claimed they had cold fusion.
Yeah.
And they were in the spotlight for about a day, and then totally discredited it.
Turns out it was lukewarm, huh?
Well, there was a physical effect that they were doing, but it wasn't what they thought it was. It wasn't fusion, and no one could ever replicate the bloody thing.
Yeah.
And so, the very fact that this guy has brought out a book that is at least back to 2012 that is alluding to the 2012 prophecies suggests that he's not necessarily relying on very reliable sources. So the fact that he's got there were science papers that
it was released in 2012 that was referencing stuff from the 1970s.
Yeah.
So at that point, there already was 30 years for it to have been proven.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is with the, I bet you anything that was a vanity press. That was a self-published book. I can't
think someone's gone to sleep on their keyboard.
Okay, but I bet it was a self-published book, and I just yeah, there's a source, a work of fiction. Yeah, I don't mind, but trying to pass something off as scientific fact, and you can't get any other way to get it out there other than to publish it yourself. Yeah, I don't trust that very much.
And of course, we can all observe the great financial juggernaut that Romania is, to indicate that perhaps these Romanian scientists do not have access to quite as much stuff as they think they do.
Possibly. Shall we move on?
Yeah, let's see all the rest of the science.
Pyramid Research Association has been putting out papers and articles every year and coming up with some really interesting theories about why and how the pyramid actually works and the theory behind its workings, which we encourage you to go and read for yourself if you're interested. As you can probably imagine though, a full conversation about the quantum mechanics, inertian fields, and paradigm-shifting science behind this would take up another playlist of videos. And so in this particular video, we're not going to cover it in crazy depth. But to give you a very simple version though, the research seems to suggest the existence of another type of field around the Earth that is generated by the friction of a moving particle in the ether. And by ether, since most scientists today don't believe in that sort of thing, what that means is a modern-day quantum vacuum. Atoms then interact with the field to produce a type of wave that flows depending on the rotation of the Earth from west to east and on its orbit around the sun. The paths passed by these waves are in a certain type of ratio, so any object that satisfies the correct dimensions of which a pyramid is the most common, and has the correct orientation can act as a resonator that focuses the field or the waves. Now the keen-eyed in our audience may point out though, hang on, if ratio is so important and the Great Pyramid is the perfect ratio, why do the Russian pyramids even work at all if they're so much steeper or longer?
Good question.
This itself is very interesting because perhaps the Russian pyramids don't work as well as they should, or at least could. See, when it comes to pyramids, there are generally three types. A sharp pyramid, like the ones found in Russia and the Washington Monument, the perfect pyramid, like the ones at Giza, and an obtuse pyramid, like the bent pyramid. Following Dr. DeSalvo and Krasnaholovitz's theory, a sharp pyramid may not be able to keep the waves.
Could somebody please define perfect pyramid?
Yeah, that's an
awfully
awfully
perfect,
good
he's
question.
meaning that basically all the sides are the same length, the same ratio as to the base. Equilateral triangles.
Yeah, which isn't even quite true of the Great Pyramid.
That's correct.
And that's only one. And of course, there's a reason why the pyramids ended up built the way they did, that they tried various angles, and the steeper they built them, the more unstable they were. And so they finally settled on one where the rocks wouldn't fall apart easily. And that worked pretty good. Now he's building stuff out of things that are different and much smaller than the Great Pyramid, and so and we don't even know what's the interior. I mean, are they solid stone? We have no idea. There's a lack of information being presented.
So we got these pyramids and the base and sides are equal, right? Like unit of one, say. Mm-hmm. So you got 1, 1, 1. What's the angle of the vertice? What's the angle?
I seem to think it runs something like 26 degrees or 30 something, something in that range.
Oh, okay.
Now the pyramids that you find, the Maya and Mesoamerican pyramids tend to be much steeper.
I'm going to ask this question again. So you got this triangle that's got equal sides of 1, 1, and 1. What are the angles within it?
Oh, you're being that way. Yes. Okay. That's a different issue.
Angles are going to add up to 180. Yeah, you got 3 angles.
You're getting drunk people into geometry tonight here. Now that's not cruel.
I was just checking to see if what's his name was in the audience.
Yeah, and the other issue is, why does it need to be a square structure as opposed to a tetrahedron that would be equal in every possible dimension? They don't seem to have a thing for tetrahedrons, if also possibly because they're harder to build than a rectangular one.
Well, I use tetrahedrons all the time when I play D&D, so I don't know.
Yeah. Just take your giant dice and expand them out there. Okay, let's see how much more science we get in on the rest of this. Yeah. We're running out of time, aren't we?
Contained inside the chamber properly, and may instead act as a radiator or be interacting with the field in the upper atmosphere, which would explain its effect on the ozone layer high above it. Alternatively, an obtuse pyramid is theorized to do the opposite and radiate the accumulated waves downward into the earth. Thus, the perfect pyramid, like the one at Giza, is kind of like the golden ratio, acting as the happy medium, being able to contain and use the waves most effectively. Unfortunately, until such a study is carried out in the Great Pyramid itself, we won't know this for sure, but it's certainly fun to think about. This is potentially the modern day theory behind the pyramid power phenomenon, that somehow the pyramid shape focuses this field, which is already around us, into a usable form that has a noticeable effect. It is theorized that these waves somehow increase the oscillation of electrons in a circuit, and gives them more of a push or more energy to work with, which is what accounts for that extra energy output. Now, we're not saying this is entirely how this works, or even that we fully understand it ourselves. The Great Pyramid is such a mystery, with such precision in its ratio, and even seeming alignments with Orion's belt, that what it was built for is still elusive to us today. Although we have theorized about this before, including in the Human History movie and the Sumerian epic. But what is most interesting is that all of this information and demonstrable effects of the pyramid shape definitely warrants a comprehensive further study on the topic, without prejudice from the scientific community. Dr. John DeSalvo and his team at the Giza Pyramid Research Association have proposed a project to measure the interior of the Great Pyramid to assess it for different types of fields, in the hope that they can prove that this is in fact a resonator for a new kind of field, and we're really excited to see the results. Just think of what kind of advancements could be made in medicine, construction, well-being, and a whole...
I missed that. What was that, sorry?
Maybe it'll be a new shape of baseball field.
Yes, there we go.
I'm sorry, my brain just blue screened. Oh.
Yeah, if this guy, when did this video come out?
Ooh, I don't know. Give me 10 seconds.
2011, 2012?
Well, I hope it was after 2012. But if it's fairly recent, I have the sneaking suspicion he's misrepresenting what the scientists are doing in regards to the pyramids. I think that's that team that's been using various imaging techniques to try to measure to see if there's unknown areas inside the pyramid, and it has nothing to do with anything super duper mystical. So,
this was August 24th, 2020.
Ooh, so recent material. Okay, well, we can all mark this down on your little calendar there to see whether or not in the next 10 or 20, 30, 40, 50 years, whether anything comes of any of this. I'm sitting out on a limb here and suggesting it's going to be zip.
Yeah, nothing.
Now the question is, will little Blue Eyes here forget that he ever made this little video, and whether or not any of the little obscure sources from Romania and Russia on the pyramid construction? Oh dear! Did you look at any of the his reference links in this video? See what they were involving?
No, I didn't look at any of the links.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one to do for follow-up. Occasionally, I bumped into stuff that relates to fringe Eastern European electrical-oriented pseudoscience, and it's stuff that often turns out to be published in very obscure journals. It hasn't been replicated. All it's got is that single person doing this research, and nobody is joining up. So it's just basically the crank stuff. They've got charts, they've got pictures. This doesn't mean that it's replicated or replicatable. And I have my severe doubts that this fellow has actually gotten close enough to the material to know whether it's been replicated or not. I have my doubts.
Very serious doubts.
Let's try to finish this one up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Host of other stuff in our society. If we had a pyramid in or around every city, or pyramids in our farmlands helping crops to have better yields. It's hard to imagine a world where diseases could be cured and violence could be lessened, especially right now. But maybe this new and strange science is the first step to get there. Now, to close out this video, I want to share with you a special vision of mine. Ever since I first learned about this stuff, probably 6 or 7 years ago, I've had a dream of building a pyramid-shaped spirit center. I envisioned some kind of large community gathering place that would serve as a garden, a library, a community center, and maybe even a healing center. A sacred space for people to gather, learn, meditate, and all kinds of things like this. If we could build just one, if it was a success, we could begin building them all over the country and then the world, serving humanity to create a deeper connection with ourselves and the earth in a holistic way. This is a dream
Is he about to say send me your money?
And we fully intend to see it through.
Yep.
Ever since we started talking about this, we've seen a lot of support from many of you in wanting to help to be a part of this vision. And so today, we've created a special opt-in email list for updates about the Spirit Center, along with other updates we may have. If you want to be notified specifically about the Spirit Center, use the link at the top of the comments to sign up for updates and information as we begin making progress towards this vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stopping it there.
Yeah, this is all failing at this point. So send me your money, and maybe I'll build something.
Actual alcohol for that one. Oh,
I'm thinking nothing he says is true. But you know, what do I know?
I think he makes stuff up.
Yeah. Can I use all my old Confederate dollars?
Sure.
And do they accept Bitcoin? I think that's not an unreasonable hypothesis.
It'd be interesting paying for Bitcoin with Confederate dollars.
So I will want to look at that exciting video notes to find out what the hell is.
You know, Spirit Science must be rather pissed that he's been trying to string all these conspiracy theories together for so long, and QAnon managed to do it so much
like
quicker.
to look at the sources.
That's because Trump helped.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm mentally wiped. I just could not keep up with the leaps and bounds and the logic that he was making.
Is real video here.
I have my hand raised, Cheese.
I don't see it, but go for it. Go for it, Renee.
Yeah, well, it's
ancient Samaria.
It's
and
a long
ancient
tradition.
Egyptology
Renee has the floor.
are two of my main fortes. Just saying.
And what do you make of the nonsense? Well, what do you make of the video you just seen?
Nonsense.
You're bullshit.
Oh, I know that.
But this guy put his heart into this.
So I take it none of you will be contributing to the pyramid fund.
No, I'm afraid he's doomed to.
That reminds me. People who played at the Luxor in Las Vegas.
Yeah, not his
Were
brain,
those,
his heart.
were those special dollars?
He is literally asking people to send money for something he says is a pyramid scheme.
Right.
Yes, I've been to the Luxor.
He's worse than Jimmy Baker. He just needs to add Bravo with the running mascara. That's all. You know?
Yeah, his pyramid scheme is a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, you have to admit it. He's honest that this is a genuine pyramid
illegal.
scheme.
Right on, Mamito.
Yeah. His pyramid scheme is a pyramid scheme, and pyramid schemes are illegal. Therefore, he's committing an illegal act. Oh my God! Wow.
Good. I'm glad someone came
Only
up
if he
with
were trying
something.
to sell pyramids to other people.
Well, at least with the pyramid, he does have 1 point.
Oh.
It's the only thing that's sharp in the shed?
Yeah.
Well, that's why you need a pyramid shed, because then all the blades would be sharp.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, don't forget about the tacks, because he's not the sharpest tack in the box.
And when can we imagine the landscape filled with pyramids across the land, and there will be sweetness and light as all of the people in their orange jumpsuit prisons are marched through to be made wonderful and sweet, and all the little daffodils are growing up all around them, even though it's in the dead of winter and people are freezing their ass off. But they are able to take their water bottles and crystallize the water by putting them outside.
And watch the rainbows overhead.
Well, I'm sure the relevant question to all the viewers of this show is, will pyramids sharpen your clams?
No.
Exactly.
No.
I knew clams was
Or do
coming
you
in there
want
somewhere.
especially sharpened
Right,
clams?
I'm not the one who brought it up.
For anybody
well,
who,
I think that
Excuse me, I'm
was.
God.
Oh, geez, my brain still hurts.
So that's why I don't like that guy.
Well, videos are more enjoyable.
Well, I went to his channel because I knew there would be some stupid science we could pick at.
And you were completely justified.
I knew he would not fail.
Yep.
Well,
never disappoints.
I think I might be in the hot seat again next week, so we can always look again next week if there's willing from the panel.
No, we don't have to do that at all. Right. No, we don't have to.
Well,
do
I'm
that.
sure we can find some other videos.
I'm sure.
Well, no, we only did 2 videos, and I think we had 6 up there. So,
Yeah. There's a few left.
Yeah. So, and plus, the couple that I submitted to.
There is never a shortage of stupid.
Oh, Chris.
Do
we have stuff going on tomorrow?
I believe so.
Okay.
I was gonna mention that when we were doing our plug.
Okay.
Yeah. This show was going to have a good run because it can keep going as long as the internet keeps producing stupid.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to plug right now. Our wonderful friend and host for Game of Fools has decreed that we will be resuming Game of Fools tomorrow.
Yay!
At 10:45 Eastern Time, and Game of Fools has its own channel. And let's see, Mom NATO, Tornado, One Wing Sparrow, who's usually over in the chat there, along with Shadow and a friend of ours, Wiped Out.
Yeah, Wiped Out.
We all sit there and play games till we're
tired.
Well, hysterical.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing tomorrow night, but I don't know if we're going to be doing the Jackbox games or if we're going to be doing Cards Against Humanity. It's going to be one of those two.
I'm just happy she's back up.
Yes, I am too. And so everybody come on over to Game of Fools tomorrow night and
enjoy the fun.
Enjoying the fun. There is a Game of Fools Discord server also, so you can.
And if we're doing Jackbox stuff, you can join the audience and play along with us.
Yep. So that's my plug for tonight.
Yay!
Well, I'll see you all next week, kids.
I do have an offer for you, cheesy bread, if you'd ever be interested.
Sorry, who was talking to me then? Sorry.
It's me, Renee.
Hey.
Hey, if you'd ever be interested, as far as the pyramids of the Great Pyramids of the Giza Plateau, I'd be very interested in having a discussion with you.
Okay, I'm going to take off. See you. Bye.
Okay,
sure.
Okay,
I'm not an expert on it, but if we can get enough of us together for a live stream, I think we could do it. We can find a channel somewhere.
Yeah,
it'd be cool.
I could show without beyond a shadow of a doubt how they were built. It's simple. Simple mechanics.
Yep.
I tell you what, that sounds like it could be fun. If anyone else in the audience wants to run a show or be part of a show like that, then send me a message on Discord or Twitter or somewhere. I'm easy to find. So if anyone's interested, let's put something together. That'd be good fun.
It'd be cool.
Has anyone else on the panel got anything they want to shill out? Anything they want to tell us? Anything that we need to know?
Nope.
In that case, good people, thank you all so much for coming. Thanks to everyone on the panel. Thanks to everyone in the side chat. Thanks to everyone watching. And with that, I've just realized there is no out credits for this, so we just say goodbye and kill the stream. So
basically, just one last thing. Thank you, Cheesemondo, for stepping in and helping out Slice Franklin with this. So.
Oh, I enjoy this. It's good fun.
Been a blast.
But thank you.
Alrighty, see you all later.
See you, folks. Good night.
Bye.